Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only, master propaganda, the only sanctioned source of communist entertainment, off here to a 1v1 on Amilly Fields. It is wonderful Amilly Fields again. In the north, it is Chiefs Tonkatsu fighting here for America, freedom, democracy, here with the hardened 5th Armored Division, tasked with breaking through the goddamn Nazi lines and push onwards to Berlin, or whatever's closest. Here with tactical support with Browning light machine guns, M5 half-tracks, P-47s, recon runs, P-47 strafing runs, and the M4 German Calliope. In the south it is VonAsten, fighting for Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 2nd Panzer Division with Lightning War, Blitzkrieg, and Jaeger Infantry with machine gun Panzerfaust infantry bulletins there. Also, very big thanks to Ras Blue for pledging on Patreon and supporting the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money. Big thanks to you. And of course, all my other Patreon supporters. Without them, I would not be able to keep making all this wonderful content. So do consider following their steps and supporting the WiFi by pledging on Patreon or donating via PayPal. Links in the description. And also, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Keep the engagement stuff going. From YouTube metrics standpoint, that is. But gun DMD 42 versus Dove Rifle Squad, so far fairly standard stuff. VonAsten pushing steadily towards the eastern fuel point here. Chiefs Tonkatsu here with a pretty aggressive spread, but we'll notice here with 2 rifle squads in the east, he's definitely waiting towards an eastern fuel point here, hoping that's where VonAsten's going to be. Preferably, though, not with a machine gun right waiting for him. Gun east in the far west, Pine East in the center. Pretty aggressive spread here by VonAsten. I mean, if his machine can disrupt things here for Chiefs Tonkatsu, great, but it certainly also has a lot of risks. Like one mistake, he would easily get overwhelmed. Also, interesting 7th machine, again, also fairly aggressive, though they are technically some blind spots that could probably not be exploited here, though. But wire there, quick looking to deny cover, thumbs up VonAsten, there go, first shots fired at the 2-minute mark. VonAsten's Pioneer falling back, here's we got the M1 Garand wielding rifle squad moving forwards there. Obviously, you might notice he's not diving in immediately because he is concerned there might be the machine gun backing him up there, since most of our players tend to have the machine gun and Pioneers working together, but they're going to stay in the east. Rifle squad here caught the rifle squad there. MD4 troop caught the rifle squad there and immediately ripped apart there Freddy, and he just stood no chance. Gunnies was rifle squad there. On the west, we got Gunnies for Rearslons. So far, the VonAsten is coming out fairly well versus Chiefs Tonkatsu in most of his engagements. But the Gunnies squad is actually being caught out in the other's rifle squad, which is pretty great for Chiefs Tonkatsu, but not notably so for VonAsten's Grenadiers. On the west side, they could push for the fuel point there. 3rd Grenadier squad right here for VonAsten, machine setting up here again, hoping to deal with a flank here from Chiefs Tonkatsu. Chiefs Tonkatsu, of course, expecting this, just goes for the car point instead. Instead has to engage another Grenadier squad though, but can hit the car point. Pushing up north here. Noting he's also going for the car point at the same time because that way he can cut off the resources faster because again, as long as the resources are unconnected, he doesn't get anything out. In fact, he also cuts off this point. So tactically, this is a pretty smart move there and savvy by VonAsten. Thumbs up there. Almost got Chiefs Tonkatsu's rifle squad there. I imagine we might be seeing some tech. In fact, there we go. Lieutenant up for Chiefs Tonkatsu. VonAsten also with some tech. Thumbs up to VonAsten. Versus a infantry build versus the Americans, which tend to go for infantry builds. I would probably consider something like Lightning War or Jaeger Infantry, and I find the Jaeger Light Infantry upgrades give your Grenadiers a significant boost versus rifle squad, and thus, a nice upper hand, or at least, slightly closer in the advantage between them. Rifle squad there, so one Grenadiers pushing them back. Quick response there by VonAsten. Thumbs up. More infantry arriving. 2 squads here. Going for light machine guns, so guessing either Blitzkrieg here or Lightning War. Jaeger Infantry as a doctrine, I think, just became a lot less likely here, but who knows, there might be some surprises here. We'll have to see. It is, of course, also worth noting, they do have a significant share of just Stuka close air support abilities, either just the limited anti-tank strafe or just the Stuka close air support abilities there. A bit worth noting there. Like to make a nice point there for VonAsten. Bit short on fuel though, so no immediate sign of anything armored. And then catching the Grenadier squad here, immediately cutting down Rupert and Friedrich. And just the other squad there out in the open and forced retreat as Chiefs Tonkatsu just swings in there like an olive green baseball bat. But again, I expect an armored car from VonAsten to hunt down some of Chiefs Tonkatsu's infantry, but pressure and sort of slightly limit his maneuvers and maneuverability. And there you go, armored car there for VonAsten. Not exactly the most difficult thing to predict, though. Most of our players will typically go for 3 Grenadiers, 1 MD42 tech, get an armored car out. It is very much like, the national anthem of Wehrmacht standard builds. Machine sitting up, oh, not machine sitting up. Grenadiers punishment to assist here, rough grenade off here, hoping to sort of slow up the advance here. A lot of damage in there, go. Basically just picking off members as they can't get it. Armor car arriving, heavy fighting between Tonkatsu and VonAsten. And Tonkatsu looks like he will be getting the machine away there. Pretty harsh stuff here for VonAsten. Machine setting up again. The armor car rushing forwards. More gunners running this time with the lap machines. And the Grenadier squad got cut down. A punishing blow here to VonAsten. Pushing straight for the machine gun there. He doesn't care about the possibility of an anti-tank rifle grenade. He just wants that machine gone. There we go. Anti-tank rifle grenade because so close to the machine crew actually ends up killing one of them. I think. No, doesn't. Maybe did at least contribute by our way. They look like it. Machine crew, they're wiped out. And there you go. Prevents Tonkatsu from troops to grab it. There you go. VonAsten there gets a lot of damage in on Tonkatsu and gets back the ND42, though he still suffered quite heavily for it. Meanwhile, Tonkatsu is escalating this with a Stuart light tank and first course having to replace his grenadiers. Does not have any anti-tank weapons. His best bet is actually getting down a telemine and just hoping that the Americans drive their tank into it. Which is definitely not impossible. And typically, as the Wehrmacht actually tend to be like one of the best advantages you can hope for is just like getting down a really good telemine and then your opponent just drives straight into it. But we'll have to see there. It looks like it's going to first repair first. We've got minesweeper kits on the way there. Gunners with 3 echelons. Pushing for the carbon again. VonAsten very much again trying to like, keep the whole plan of disrupting Tonkatsu fuel lines in mind. That was slowing down his tech and his overall advantage. Very good play there. Thumbs up to VonAsten. Steady, cool-minded there. Got the telemine here for VonAsten. Also known as the plate mine. It was a quite versatile mine, by the way, and could be used in a variety of ways, including as effectively a satchel charge. Little fun fact to do with here. Pantherfaster, though. Small winner for VonAsten. And again, fuel point hit again. And got the reasons wiped. That definitely makes the telemine there look a bit better, in particular to be tempted to go for more. Pack 40 on the way, though. And Tonkatsu, though, is pushing hard on light vehicle play here with an M5 half-track. Now, that is actually pretty rare. Like, most players would just go for the Stuart to go for the half-track, but going for the Stuart and the half-track, that's definitely pretty bold. I'm definitely not saying that's wrong either, but it's typically pretty rare. He's activating the crew here to assist with repairs, too. So, Tonkatsu definitely taking an interesting detour on the otherwise, shall I say, normal American, so say, vehicle plans. He's actually popping in there, the crew to the half-track, while upgrading again there. Sneaky set there by Tonkatsu, allows him to just quick transport the troops close to the front line. And then, of course, once the upgrade hits, pops up the squad at the same time, allowing for slightly more aggressive shock tactics. Pack 4, though, is ready here for VonAsten, though it is nowhere near close enough to the front line to stop, at least for now, Tonkatsu's possible mechanized storm here. There you go, charting forwards there. Pack 40 gets going in the half-track. Half-track is getting caught in a bit of a bad spot. Then his pathing is also a bit awkward. But just overall, the position is just really bad. I just couldn't easily turn around, and the half-track does tend to be a bit more cumbersome. So, great kill here for VonAsten. And the worst part for Tonkatsu was the timing of it. It just, right as it got done with the upgrade, it got caught there. And that just meant the 120 munitions just went straight down the toilet. That is a huge win here for VonAsten. And definitely, I think, helps offset some of the initial issues and losses he's had here against Tonkatsu. Part wide down there, very good. Ground some fuel points trying to go neutral, but VonAsten is striking at the cup of the western fuel point. Very good play. I mean, both players are just very aggressive and driven players. And got in Himmel. He's committing to a second half track. Tonkatsu here is a believer in light vehicular warfare. He's a man of the cavalry. Now this is where things get spicy. We'll have to see though, of course, if VonAsten can deal with that one just as easily. That said, if Tonkatsu loses it as fast as well, that could very well be GG, but at the same time, just two light vehicles can also be quite disruptive and can make it harder for VonAsten to take up here, so that is probably what he's hoping to do here. So, I mean, really bold strat here by Tonkatsu. Really bold and quite munitions intensive, obviously. It's very interesting how this goes. More cost being hit there. Very good play there. Thumbs up to Tonkatsu. And both players here clearly experienced veterans with a good focus on what matters, which is, again, ensuring the other bastard doesn't get their tanks out fastest. Grab these some fuel point back here. Lots of back and forth action. Half-track catching grenadiers out in the open. Stewart, of course, providing support as well. There you go, grenadiers and packing. Rifle running with Browning light machine guns. VonAsten there find the front line crumbling under Tonkatsu's merciless mechanized strategy. Go down the half with the Pack 40 this time. The Tonkatsu is able to get out there fast before the Pack 40 lands another hit. Machine team there. Up there, they're standing up front up support. We can see the pack getting wiped out. That'd be a huge blow to VonAsten. And in particular against the opponent with again the Stewart light tank and the half track. Losing this to Tonkatsu right now would be absolutely disastrous. It's going to close being wiped out here as Tonkatsu just fights on with quite the extreme fervor here. Half rushing forwards, Punny's being rushed forward to try and grab the pack 40. He grabs it with the reinforcements. He may be willing to sacrifice him. He may actually be able to get away with it. Machine team by this doing nothing, but even like he didn't get it and was able to get away with this, it looks like he is. He would just be able to deny it to VonAsten, but he is getting away with it. He sacrificed reasons here just to grab it, and it looks like he's actually going to make off with it. That said, he might theoretically be able to land some wipes on the retreating rough scores, which should slightly offset things, but even then the problem is the opponent has the Pack 40, and VonAsten, of course, has none against the two light vehicles. That will likely force him to have to consider another Pack 40, which of course further slows down things here. I mean, this match is completely off the hook, just in terms of like usual gameplay patterns. In particular, Tonkatsu is just being so utterly disruptive and just aggressively driven. Absolutely just astounding tempo he's just inflicting here on VonAsten there. And VonAsten still hasn't gone for the doctrine. I imagine VonAsten is just struggling to like catch your breath. My God, Jürgen, everyone told me the Americans were fat and lazy. And look at these, he's actually attacking. He must have German ancestry. This is not the time to be admiring the German ancestry. We need to kill them faster. Ambulance on the way there for Tonkatsu. Armored car, they're right flanking the half track, gets a good hit in there, eventually 213 kills. The armored car's also been a great investment for VonAsten, if anything. No Pack 40 yet. Still a light tank falling back at 8 kills, close to 2. There you go, ambulance ready to provide the men with most needed welfare and healthcare. Panthers in the half track. Armored car in the repairs. Stood moving into block, ensuring here that VonAsten can't rush in and finish it off. There you go, VonAsten with another Pack 40. And again, theoretically, like if he hadn't lost that Pack 40 but now, he probably could be taking up, like pushing for some armor, but because again, he lost it, he has to go for another one. I just risk like getting completely drowned out with these light vehicles, plus he can't get to the fuel points easily. So Tonkatsu is just reaping the rewards of very aggressive play. Of course, had any of these failed, he would be in a really bad place. So there's obviously a downside to it as well. It's just not appearing because Tonkatsu is making it work here. Pack 40 almost down there for VonAsten. His second Pack 40. Armor car takes it from the Pack 40 that Tonkatsu made off with. We got 377 to 461. Armor car needs some repairs. Stewart rushing force there. Vets need 8 kills. After rushing forwards here. 9 kills halfway to the ace, and insanely uphill rounds being unleashed against the Stewart light tank. It does do some damage, which allows us to gain experience fast, but it's not a ton of it. And there you go, half around the side. But there you go, Pack 40 arrives, good hit on the half track. 11 kills, overdrive, steps on it. And narrowly survives there. VonAsten continues to just suffer the insurmountably aggressive Tonkatsu here. 50 kill on the way there for Tonkatsu, bringing in more firepower. He's yet to take up. Again, he has been expending a lot of resources into light vehicles, so obviously he can't easily get away with that, and he has to get his most out of it. VonAsten, though, is taking up. And I think at this point, rushing out either Stugan or Ostwind, I think, would be the optimal choice here for VonAsten. Ooh, looks like I might be able to finish off the half track here. Armored car pushing in Gunnisman as well there. We got the 5th car nearby, Stuart could also move in. Half track, again, overdriving near ace level. There we go, armored car that's also close to it. And the half track looks like it narrowly escapes the wrath of VonAsten and the Wehrmacht once more. Now Stuart, Lieutenant moving in and flanking the Gunnisman, turning VonAsten's flank on its head and forcing him to retreat soon here. Armored car also needs to get away before it gets knocked out. Graham needs some fuel point at least here, but that He could lose a Grenadier squad again. He's also gone for 4 of them. Maybe wanted to consider a Panther squad, to be honest. But there you go. Wipe landed. Grenadiers and choppers are caught on the wrong side of the cover, forcing retreat here. And still no doctrine for VonAsten, but really just sheer intensive pacing by Tonkatsu. And VonAsten is trying to match it, but as the Wehrmacht, it is fairly tough. There you go. Tech done. Need to get that support crop and again get out something armored here. And I would really have strongly considered something like the Osprey again, just with a more impact as the Infantry. And there goes strafing run and Amilly Fields to Tonkatsu. Sees an opportunity against VonAsten and he takes it mercilessly. Armored car needed repairs badly, still a doctrine for VonAsten. 339 is a 461. Half-tech stood moving in there. Then he sent packing here as Tonkatsu strikes. There's the rifle squads again. Finally getting some light machine gun upgrades going to match the rifle squads, which again with the light machine guns are quite potent. At 40 moving in, after they're driving about still. Yeah, he needs that support corps now. In fact, he needed it up yesterday. Still a take here for Tonkatsu support corps. He's likely going to go for the Panther. I mean, again, it is a nice, safe choice. Good versus both the light vehicles, the infantry, and the medium armor. But again, part of me would just suggest the Osprey just because he can more swiftly put pressure on the infantry and support, which I think is what VonAsten really badly needs. That and Royal Doctrine. Pack quality with the 5th gun, going to bring out the corp with the half-track. Man, that Taliban really just hasn't worked out. Like, just laid it out a bit more to the center. He probably had a better chance going off than here. It was a misclick from him. But, I mean, again, had that Taliban just gone off, you know, on a tank sooner, I mean, VonAsten's situation would have looked much better than it is currently. But sadly, it did not. Which is great for Tonkatsu and very unfortunate for VonAsten. Panther 4 is on the way here. We can destroy the sandbags. Gunners in the center, just on the west, have been completely slaughtered. Panther 4 almost done. Major finding out here for Tonkatsu. Panther 4 is almost ready here for VonAsten. And Half-Tech again blitzes away there, or drives away. Rather than the 50 cal. Gets a white P. If he could get his hands on it, that could perhaps set up VonAsten versus Tonkatsu. Could have him up. Panther 4 right around the corner. Half-Tech sneak up some hits there as well. And gets back the 50 cal. Nice save here. Still no docking for VonAsten, almost at the 20-minute mark. And there's still nothing. Got another strafing run here though from Tonkatsu. Yeah, on the machine gun here. Getting a lot of damage in there. Heading it down too. So far, Tonkatsu has used 3 out of 5 abilities. He hasn't used the recon run yet, and the Calliope is so not been on the table yet. It could happen soon. Of course, I think with the Panther 4 out, he may wait a bit on that. Still, the Panther 4 is probably VonAsten's best chance to have turned the game around. More aggressively needs to leverage it as aggressively as he can without, you know, being reckless, which is definitely a tough balance to like manage. But VonAsten is probably one of those players that could manage it. Still no doctrine for VonAsten. Keine Doctrine. Shaman there for Tonkatsu. Some good old medium armor. Just going to the Pack 40 then stood light tank. Stood also got a Panther hit. They're definitely a bit unlucky there for VonAsten's Panther 4. Great though for Tonkatsu. The rest of the half-tech the Grenadiers there. We got 15 kills. Shaman halfway done. 200 points left for VonAsten. Armored car Pack 4 supporting westward sea, looking to perhaps finish off that half-track. Also VonAsten's got a second Pioneer squad to help assist repairs. I think that's a really good idea. Ace level armored, near ace level armored car. There you go, half direction forward. Pack 40 is, there you go, good hit machine. The caught in the bad spot as well. You could actually possibly out the Pack 40 with that. Gets the half-track though, gets the half-track, finally gets rid of that. That's a tactically significant win here for VonAsten. That half-tech was a monstrous problem there for VonAsten. It just really held him back for so long. Now the Sherman's out there, so that should help compensate for that loss for Tonkatsu here. Definitely need to upgrade that with a 50 cal. At least we got the light tank pushing back the Pioneers. And another machine gun here for us to contain Tonkatsu's infantry. But still no doctrine. Definitely a bit concerning, but also I think just highlights the sheer amount of pressure Tonkatsu just exerting on VonAsten, making it hard for VonAsten to just make the decision. Trooping quad end with the Panther 4, the Gunnies joining in the front, Pioneers nearby. Troop rushing forwards here for Tonkatsu, freedom and democracy. Carrying into the Gunnies there with a reckless abandon. Pioneers being shot to bits here, Pack falling a great down the Sherman, Panther falling up with another hit, the Sherman down to half health, but the American Pack lands a great on the Panther 4, and that pretty much I think sort of preempts VonAsten pushing further ahead there. Still pushing forwards here, can soon go for another Panther 4, though of course he could go for Stug on Ostwind. Need to fix up that Panzerkampfwagen 4, stood in pursuit. Looked like he was almost going to go for E Panther first there, but the Steward did get away there. Fairly lucky for Tonkatsu if that was the case then. 50 cal slowing up the advance here from VonAsten, roughing it off. Not the most impressive hit. Jam takes from the Pack 4, in fact takes cell hits from them. And the artillery on the west here is not really doing much there for Tonkatsu, just to waste some munitions straight out the window. And finally here at the 21, almost 22 minute mark, we get Blitzkrieg here from VonAsten with the command tank, the Panzer Tactician, tactical movement, recon Zone flight, and the Stuka close air support. I do suspect a large part of this is going to be Stuka close air support, but I imagine also the Panzer Tactician is something VonAsten wants to help with some of these engagements, allows Panther Force to more easily escape, for example. So that does make sense. And of course, recon Zone flight and tactical movement aren't bad abilities either, but they do tend to be a bit more rarely used. In particular, tactical movement is a fairly rare sight from most players when they use the doctrine, or any doctrine with it in it really. Eventually is in the east and the west here. Gunnies was two Rav squads coming in there with the light machine guns. This squad has not been upgraded, a bit interesting there. Ooh, another recent squad could wiped here. Stood light tank. Oh, Telemine finally spotted there, so yeah. Probably should have laid out more to the center, but you know, sometimes it just happens. Overall, I think the position is pretty good. And sometimes you just get those situations like you just plays it a bit more to the left and north or whatever, it would have just hit something. And there you go, Tonkatsu up with the Calliope to bombard VonAsten position here with rocket artillery. Dem can make more armor look great here for VonAsten. Again, would recommend another Panther 4. Of course, or Stug on Ostwind. He could also go for the command tank, obviously. Just needs more armor and needs more armor. Schnell. Panther in southwards against Rapsport there. So far, keine Panzerwaffe here from VonAsten besides that one Panther 4. Calliope unleashes rocket terror on the center. There you go. Regular Panther 4, more here from VonAsten. Buffing up the 2nd Panzer Division's 7th Panzer Company. Pentagon's left squad there, pushing it back. Which is a light tank. Fun fact about the 2nd Panzer Division in Normandy, but it actually had to give up its Panther Battalion to the 21st Panzer Division, which didn't have any. On the other hand, the 2nd Panzer Division received a Panther Battalion from the 116th Panzer Division, which on the other hand did not receive a replacement for its Panther Battalion. So, little fun story there. Now he cancelled the Panther 4 for a command tank, obviously better versus the infantry, provides his own tanks and other troops there with some higher durability, plus access to smoke barrel shells there, which isn't bad either. So definitely not a bad pick there for sure. Command tank halfway done here for VonAsten, fixing up the Panzerkampfwagen 4. He is slowly stabilising, but there's a magnificently huge difference in terms of X1 VonAsten and Tonkatsu, definitely meaning VonAsten is going to have to work hard for it to become that. Panther arrives here though, close to Veteran 2 roughly, like halfway there. Need to fix up the Panther 4 though. And there you go, Fields, Panzerkampfwagen 4 out there for VonAsten. Calliope there, almost good to go again. Then he's falling a bit back in the east and the west. Machinery up there could push for the western fuel point there if he was a bit bold. But obviously VonAsten at this point is much more concerned about the victory point and keeping them in German hands. Strafing around again from Chief Tonkatsu. Still not much in terms of reconnaissance, but I mean, he was used to have full doctrinal bingo here. But I will say he's made pretty good use of the doctrine. I mean, most players have been used like the P-47 strafing as much as Chief Tonkatsu is currently. Command tank racing in there, looking to flank the Pack 40. Need to be careful there, though. Didn't get the Pack 40 there, though. Troops in the centre being mauled. Panther forms knocked out. Heavy losses here and damage to VonAsten. About to lose the Pack 40 as well, I think, to Chief Tonkatsu. Almost got the Stuart light tank, but he does no escape. And now there's a definite danger here that VonAsten may end up handing over a second Pack 40 here to Chief Tonkatsu, which will definitely be rather nightmarish there for Paul VonAsten. He's already going for another Pack 40 here. Yeah, giving your opponent 2 Pack 40s is definitely not a good look. Three kills on the command tank, halfway to veteran 2-1. Panther 4 is close to veteran 2. Jackson tanks for Chief Tonkatsu is committing to even more tank destroyers and anti-tank warfare. Again, I mean, having shown 2 Pack 40s, it's easy to go for the Jackson. You just completely try and shut out your opponent's armoured elements. Panther 4 good to go here for VonAsten once more. For Chief Tonkatsu, we do have the Jackson halfway done. Could add a 5th kill on the Sherman, to be honest, but I guess he's saving up munitions here for more P-47 strafing runs. Maybe some reconnaissance, who knows? Machine caught in a pretty bad spot here by Chief Tonkatsu's forces. And then go Vetu 2 again on the Panther 4, adding Schutzen, making it a little bit tougher here. Stuart gets away here, Pack 4 nearby, opening up the Sherman. And the Sentinel's been rolled up, but there you go, almost got the 5th kill there, west side. Could easily see more pressure there from VonAsten. Almost got the Sherman down to half health, but it does escape a lot of pain. And there you go, Calliope barrage again. Machine caught in the storm here of rockets, and the crew expires. The lungs burst as the pressure shattered them. Command tank raising force, another P-50 safe run here, straight in the midst of the Grenadiers. They push forwards. Command tank trying to flank forwards here, not bad, but there you go. Grenadiers taking heavy losses as the US Air Force strike in. Pat again having to pack forward, but Jackson there makes this a much tougher proposition here for VonAsten for the time being. Panther 4 being fixed up, command tank and repairs. He's likely going to go for another Panther 4, though of course he could consider Stuke here. Don't deal with the armour a bit more aggressively. Jackson the Prowl here, going straight into the Panther 4 command tank. Pack 4's line of fire. Pack 4, though, awkwardly set up. He allows the Jackson to escape. Command tank, I think, risk it. Oh, machine team here to clear out the Pack 40. Very great there for VonAsten. Almost got the second one, too. So close yet so far. And the Sherman there dodges a shot from the Pack 40. But there you go, on the west, moving for the western fuel point, realising the door is wide open. He just pokes his head in there. Panther 4 racing forward. There goes Jackson. And other stuff they didn't have damage to the Panther 4, popping smoke with their Panther protection activated. Pack 40 up against the Stuart. Blitzing as well there. Making the Pioneers run here for the Pack 40. Good. Sherman racing past here, the Pack 40. Other Pack 40 nearby. Gonna circle around it all. Both Panther 4 and command tank are dying to repairs here. And the Pack 4 is in a pretty bad spot. There goes Jackson taking a hit here. Pretty awkward position here for VonAsten's anti-tank guns. And Chief Tonkatsu just feels dashing in and knowing that the Pack 40s can't target his tanks because he just keeps them around them, just blocking the retreat path there. He's winning this. So good maneuver by Chief Tonkatsu, fearlessly pushing forward there, going for the move up. But again, both Pack 40s been cleared out. This is pretty bad there for VonAsten. And now following up with another Calliope barrage in the midst of the troops trying to counterattack here, further ruining VonAsten's chances of stabilising. Crew, all the anti-tank is going to destroy the other one there. He doesn't need that. He's got 2 plus the Jackson. Is that so close to VonAsten? So close, but again, just a fearless charge here because most players will typically like just try and stay away from anti-tank guns. But At times, your best bet is actually just to charge at the anti-tanks, bypass, and then quickly clear them out from behind there. Just, circle around them like Tonkatsu did. So, I mean, 2 thumbs up the Tonkatsu. 2 thumbs up. Tanks being repaired here. Now the Panther right there for VonAsten. He technically controls both fuel points. He's getting a lot of fuel here with Tonkatsu. The question is, can he leverage it well enough? Panther 4, they're still being repaired by the Pioneers. They're hard at work. Command tank course alternate repairs. 129 to 380. Sherman Jackson there on the move again. Got the Ralph Squad flanking in here. Come on, oh, Panther 4, they're good to go. VonAsten, I think, is now trying to find another path they can choose Tonkatsu, but at this point, it may actually just be a bit too late. And there you go, Sherman's a great hit there, matching to 11 kills. Stood here as being a problem for VonAsten's infantry. Panther's moved great here on the Ralph Squad. That takes out a fat chunk of them. Western Infantry sees still on the Ralph Squad. 118 versus 380. In the east here we got machine versus the Stuart Light Tank, entering with the Pantherfaust. Sherman's there, escorting the Jackson, goes on the hunt here for the Panther Force. Other Panther Force are pushing forwards. A bit risky there by VonAsten, to be honest, but I guess at this point VonAsten is just at the point where he just is perhaps starting to sense a tiny bit of frustration here. And just wants to see Americans die. Ooh, Telemine. He actually had a Telemine. They actually went off on the Sherman. Nice for VonAsten. But will it be enough at this point? I think is the tougher one to sort of call there. I think the problem is runners also with the anti-tankers nearby. You got the other Panther moving in. He's firing at the wrong targets. Costing him the Panther Force command tank winnings will be at this point. I think that's just it for VonAsten. GG, game over. The lack of support has also been crucial as he doesn't have anything way to clear up the packs. And that all of VonAsten's armored force has combusted. A field of scrap metal here is what lies before the Pioneers, and yeah, I think he's popped out here. He has popped out. Just takes the game a bit of a while here to react. So there you go, GG, game over. Loss for VonAsten, victory for Tonkatsu. A brutal, fierce fight. Tonkatsu just really leveraging the advantage of the Americans so expertly well to a degree I think most American players just never really tried to even reach. Again, the half-check, the Stuart Light Tank was really powerful there. VonAsten struggled, losing those pack forces like it did, and also just that unfortunate Telemine placement. Again, it just been slightly up here, and it had been more Telemine, I think, been in a much better position, but there's definitely some things went wrong there. Another possibility might also just been to go for more armoured cars, he could have just responded to Tonkatsu's heavy light vehicle play with more light vehicles and what I think, another armoured car, particularly on a map like this, would have worked out quite well for VonAsten, could allow to maybe turn the game around that way against Tonkatsu. So that could actually been an entirely different avenue VonAsten could have explored here, and that could also shape the entire match differently. But really, I think part of this match just highlights the power of just aggressive, early game play with a lot of light vehicles can do in the right hands. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. And of course, do consider pledging on Patreon or donating via PayPal. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Until tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.